Breaking tonight, coronavirus cases at Nashville bars and restaurants may have been so low the mayor's office and the Metro Health Department decided to keep it a secret.
Emails between the mayor's senior advisor and the health department reveal only a partial picture, but what is in them is disturbing. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier has the story.
The discussion involves the low number of COVID-19 cases coming out of bars and restaurants, and most disturbingly, how to keep it from the public. On June 30th, contact tracing was giving a small view of coronavirus clusters. Construction and nursing homes causing problems, more than 1,000 cases traced to each category. But bars and restaurants, a total of just 22 cases. Leslie Waller from the health department asked, quote, "This isn't going to be publicly released, right? Just info for mayor's office?" Correct. Not for public consumption, answers the mayor's senior advisor, Benjamin Eagles. 1 month later, the health department is asked point blank about the rumor that there are only 80 cases traced to bars and restaurants. Tennessean reporter Nate Rao asks, quote, "The figure you gave of more than 80 does lead to a natural question. If there have been over 20,000 positive cases of COVID-19 in Davidson and only 80 or so are traced to restaurants and bars, doesn't that mean restaurants and bars aren't a very big problem?" Metro Health Department spokesman Brian Todd asks 5 Metro Health Department officials the question, "Please advise how you recommend I respond." The name at the top of the response is clipped off, but you may find the answer unacceptable. Quote, "My 2 cents, we have certainly refused to give counts per bar because those numbers are low per site. We could still release the total though, and then a response to the over 80 could be, quote, because that number is increasing all the time and we don't want to say a specific number." Neither the health department or the mayor's office would confirm the authenticity of the emails. But Councilman Steve Glover asked a Metro staff attorney to inquire. Here's the official answer. "I was able to get verification from the mayor's office and the Department of Health that these emails are real," answered the staff attorney. Glover says this adds up to a cover-up.
They're fabricating information. They've blown their entire credibility now, Dennis. It's gone. I don't trust a thing they say going forward. Nothing.
Glover says he has been contacted by an endless stream of downtown bartenders, waitresses, and restaurant owners. Why would they not release these numbers?
We raised taxes 34%, and we put literally hundreds and thousands of people out of work that are now worrying about losing their homes, their apartments, etc. And we did it off of false information and bogus data. That should be illegal.
The mayor's office won't comment on these emails. And the question that brings up is why? I mean, they're just numbers. They're either true or not. And why? Why are you trying to keep them from everybody?
Continuing coverage tonight on the heated confrontation between Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier and Mayor Cooper's press secretary.
Now, it's all over leaked emails that suggest the Cooper administration covered up low COVID-19 numbers at Nashville bars and restaurants. Here's a look at what happened.
You said go through legal channels to extract this information because we don't want to share it.
Sir, okay,
I'll argue with you all day, but you're not gonna talk to me like this and walk away.
Now, only on Fox. What could possibly drive the conversation in these leaked emails? Let me show you tonight why many downtown bar owners think this is retaliation. Retaliation for what, you ask? Well, the local was the first to sue the city over extended shutdowns. Then several other big-name bars, including Kid Rock, joined the suit. Well, I found out that's when this email thread between the mayor's top guy and the health department started. The bombshell bar owners say the mayor's senior advisor was fishing for a reason to close bars in retaliation for that lawsuit. In the emails, Ben Eagles asks of the health officials, looking at the cluster graph, I see the highest day of clusters, 6 clusters from bars. So is it safe to say the following? Our public health investigators have found a record number of clusters originating from bars within the past week. Keep in mind, and for context, a cluster is anything more than one. In this case, and at this point in time, all bars combined had produced just 19 cases out of 3,200. Kirk Clements is the attorney who filed the suit this summer.
You're saying they misrepresented the data to forward their own agenda, which you were saying and alleging that it is retaliation.
That is correct. They
misrepresented the number of cases to the public just by using these general terms in order to hide the fact that they were actually retaliating against the bar owners that chose to sue them for being closed without any scientific data.
For further context, nursing homes and construction sites were seeing a large number of cases at the same time. Jeff Reed, who owns the local, has nearly gone out of business. Donations are keeping him afloat.
But you're talking about 5 or 6 clusters that equate to 19 cases. And, I didn't see construction stop during all this when there's thousands, 1,200, 1,400, who knows how many. I watched a building be constructed every single day across the street from my building while I'm closed down. So, they definitely were targeting this business.
How do you feel now that all of this is coming out?
I'm outraged, as are many people, that our government is literally ruining people's lives for their own political agenda. That to me is the essence of abuse of power, and quite frankly, it's despicable.
As a matter of practice, Metro does not comment on pending litigation, which this, of course, is. The plaintiffs tell me the administration's use of the words many, surge, and cluster in relation to downtown bars and the 19 cases contracted at the bars at that time should help their lawsuit when it does go to court.
Even more Fox 17 News viewers are weighing in on this controversial set of emails on Twitter. @AB Gilson says, caught, tough explaining to do, time to open. Mandy Lowry Adams says, thank you for continuing to press this issue. You can join the conversation and continue to follow this story 24/7 on our website, fox17.com, and of course on the Fox Nashville Facebook and Twitter pages.
Bar and restaurant owners tell me they are finally breathing a sigh of relief. The low case count they saw in those emails, they tell me verify how they felt. It wasn't as bad down here as it seemed to be. They tell me by doing this, putting up signs in their doors, they're doing everything asked of them. They said they want the mayor to now do what they're asking him to do, open them back up all the way. It's been a rare and scarce scene on Broadway, a live band in open bar and restaurants after a long summer of closures that business managers tell me cost them customers, staff, and their bottom line.
It's been millions of dollars. So as a company, millions of dollars. As individual, literally our income's been cut to like 25%, while rent has increased. Everything's getting more expensive in Nashville.
But Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier discovered the closures might not have been necessary. He uncovered this email exchange between a senior staff member for the mayor and Metro Health. One email says the case count for bars and restaurants in July barely hovered over 80 cases and that the numbers were low per site. Yet Broadway received some of the stiffest restrictions. A group of bar owners filed a restraining order in June to stop the closures.
Like I said, discuss it. It's ridiculous. If numbers are numbers don't lie. It's definitely been a slap in the face, 100%.
Fox 17 News asked via email for the mayor's office to verify the emails and explain why businesses weren't told this information. Ferrier was told to submit a records request, which can take days. Well, he waited just a few hours and asked again, but this time in person.
We're asking you now. We ran the story. We asked you before. We're asking you afterwards. And it's so funny that a Metro staff attorney validated these emails in 1 hour that you told us to FOIA.
Business owners are furious, saying all summer long they were unfairly blamed for being super spreaders of the virus, despite early numbers saying the opposite.
Somebody needs to be held accountable. I don't know if it's the mayor, if it's the health board, I don't know who it is. Somebody needs to be held accountable.
Now there is some good news for bar and restaurant owners. The mayor announced today that beginning tomorrow they can remain open until 11 and be open at half capacity. And then we're going to move into phase 3 October 1st.
In our big story tonight, our Fox 17 News investigation of leaked emails between the mayor's office and the health department results now in name-calling.
The mayor's press secretary accuses Fox 17's Dennis Ferrier of poor journalism.
And I think it was a lapse in journalistic judgment and due diligence.
Now, despite that attack, Dennis continues his pursuit of the facts.
Again, he offers the mayor a chance to explain the emails between the Metro Health Department that appear to be covering up low COVID-19 numbers at Nashville restaurants and bars.
It's been a full 24 hours and we still don't have the answers we're looking for. The mayor's office says we didn't give them enough opportunity to respond to our story that shows an email from Metro Health's Leslie Waller asking, "This isn't going to be publicly released, right? Just for the mayor's office?" "Correct, not for public consumption," responded Mayor Cooper's senior advisor, Benjamin Eagles. Let's go back to June 30th. The health department tells the mayor's office that only 22 COVID cases have been linked to bars and restaurants in the 4 months since March. Just 4 days later, the city closes bars. Barrett Hobbs owns 6 bars and restaurants.
It just didn't pass the smell test, but what were we going to do? They said close, and we had to close.
Fast forward to another email chain July 30th. A reporter asks if it's true there's still only 80 cases of COVID linked to downtown bars and restaurants out of 20,000 cases. The health department debates releasing the number. Quote, "We have certainly refused to give counts per bar because those numbers are low per site," unquote. We asked the mayor's office for comment and verification last night and were told to file a formal request. Today they said they wish we would have asked again.
After you formulated your story, it would have been nice to have an opportunity for the mayor's office to participate in that story. And I think it was a lapse in journalistic judgment and due diligence. In terms of your question, I'm going to let Dr. Jahangir participate in responding first.
Let me ask, since
you asked the question.
I'm going to let Dr. Jahangir comment. I'd like to make one about you. When you call after the newscast and say, "Gee, we wish you would have asked again," I mean, this isn't high school. You're not asking a girl out on a date again who said no. If you don't have a comment up front, we don't have to come and ask you again an hour later. We have deadlines, and I'm asking you now. So here's a chance to answer.
No. Yeah, you had a deadline, and you asked a question.
And you didn't answer. You said, "FOIA us, sir." After the press conference, the mayor's office released 2 additional emails to show they did release that there were only 80 cases of COVID traced to bars and restaurants by July 30th to a single reporter. Again, this was shared with one reporter from a fledgling website. It was not shared with bar and restaurant owners. It was not shared citywide. Today, the bar and restaurant community is floored.
They're shocked, stunned, mad, all the adjectives, confused.
That's because the Restaurant Association estimates that up to 50% of bars and restaurants will close forever if the city is not open in the next 6 weeks. Councilman Steve Glover says enough.
They need to open up the city right now. Given this information, given the other information I've been given over the last 2 weeks, open the city right now. This is unforgivable. Stop it. Stop acting like you're the king. You're not the king.
Funny thing, no one ever did answer our question today.
Thank you, Dennis. Come see me. We'll get to the bottom of this.
We certainly accept the mayor's gracious offer for an interview. We will let you know when and if that happens. And meanwhile, those emails, we asked for an uninterrupted chain of those emails. No answer. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Dennis. The mayor's office also says it was simply acting on recommendations from the White House to make bars and restaurants a priority. Even so, bar owners we spoke with say their trust in the city is now broken. Business managers say the long summer of closures has really taken a toll on their staff, their customers, and of course their bottom line. And now they are even more upset as the email exchange reveals all of this may have been avoided.
Like I said, discuss it. It's ridiculous. If numbers are numbers don't lie. It's definitely been a slap in the face, 100%.
Bar owners say they feel they've been unfairly blamed, especially when bars were referred to as super spreaders.
Now tonight, many of our Fox 17 viewers are weighing in via email these revelations. Sheena Pelham says online, where are the attorneys? They should take on a class action lawsuit for every musician, bar, tourism industry worker, restaurant worker, everyone impacted. And Tammy Stevenson weighing in as well online, saying, you must be honest with us or you should resign. We will share more of your comments on this story later in the newscast. President's son is also weighing in. Donald Trump Jr. tweeting about our story today, saying, and I'm quoting here, the Dem mayor of Nashville knowingly lied about COVID data to justify shutting down bars and restaurants. Coming up tonight at 9:15, Governor Lee is responding to our bombshell report and how the state of Tennessee is working to, he says, be transparent through the pandemic.